lovely friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you've joined us to hear all about this epic adventure. Peru next September. And in case we haven't yet met, I'm Christy, and this is my partner, Sean. We are both from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So if we have anyone from out of country here, welcome to you as well. We both really love to travel, and in fact, we're actually off to Costa Rica in 2 weeks. So that gives you a bit of a hint about how much we like to travel. And for us, the idea about this trip, about adventure travel in general, is it's about connection. It's about connecting with nature. It's about connecting with other incredible humans and different cultures and learning and experiencing different things. And most importantly, it's about connecting with yourself. So this trip to Peru is one that we are especially excited about. So can't wait to walk you through a little bit about what this is going to be about, what's included in the package, and how you can go about joining us on this wonderful experience. So before we dive in, I know there's a few of you on here now. So if you wouldn't mind, pop your name and where you're from into the comments, into the chat. I'm going to just pop that open myself so I can see you guys in there, just to let us know where in the world you are joining us from. And as well as we move through the info session, I do invite you as well to let us know if you have questions as we're going. Do drop those questions into the chat as we go, and I will make sure that I circle back at the end and address any that I haven't. So if something comes up into mind, feel free to pop that into the chat as we move through. And full disclosure, we haven't been to Peru, nor done the Inca Trail, nor seen Machu Picchu ourselves. So I want to just leave that as a disclaimer that I probably don't have all of the answers that you might be looking for, but I will do my very best to answer today on this call. And if there's something that I don't have an answer to, I will absolutely circle back and make sure that you do get that answer once I have it. So that is a quick intro. Oh, and also, if you're watching this and you don't yet have the full brochure, please let me know. I can get that to you via email. So just reach out, let me know the best email address, and I will get that full brochure over to you as soon as possible. So let's dive right in and talk about why Peru and why now. We are deciding to hike the Inca Trail to see one of the new seven wonders of the world, which is Machu Picchu. And we chose to do this Inca Trail because it is the actual trail that the Incans actually took. And the views are just going to be breathtaking. There are other hikes available there, but this is sort of like that classic one. So we wanted to do that classic hike that brings us to that sun gate, brings us to that sunrise at Machu Picchu, and really just exploring all of the interesting pieces throughout the journey as well. So this tour is obviously on a lot of people's bucket lists for a good reason, because it's ancient, it's sacred, and the experience is going to be absolutely breathtaking. And if you have gotten any of the information from me, you'll know there are going to be llamas. Okay? So I don't know about you all, but I am so down for some llamas. So very excited about that. I also chose intentionally late September for our experience because it is sort of like the perfect peak time in between rainy season and busy season. So we're going to get sort of the benefit of both, which is the luscious green views, the misty peaks, and a little less busy on the trail itself. Smaller crowds. So if seeing these kind of epic things around the world is on your radar, I do also just want to say that this is only the beginning for us. We actually have plans to do hopefully all of the seven wonders of the world over the next number of years. We kind of have some plans in motion to start exploring another one in 2027, maybe another one the year after that. So if seeing more of these wonders is on your bucket list or your radar, stay tuned because we have something there for you as well. So I invite you to let me know in the chat if you have Machu Picchu or really any of the seven wonders on your bucket list. If that's you, drop a "that's me" or "me" in the comments. Let us know, are you on a mission to see all these wonderful things? And I will say that Peru, for me, was really extra interesting because It was like like a lost site. They actually was built in like I want to say, I looked this up and my memory is so terrible, but I think it was in the 1400s. It was kind of lost and they rediscovered it in 1911, which is super interesting that they kind of lost sight of it for so many years and then rediscovered it. So, of course, we need to go see this and learn some of this history. Also, if you've done any research on Machu Picchu itself, it's like an engineering marvel. Like I'm so excited to see and just incredible. What they say is that the stones are so perfectly cut that they fit together perfectly, like you can't even fit a piece of paper in between them. And they did not have precision cutting tools or, technology that we have now in the 1400s or 1500s. Sorry, excuse me for not remembering exactly when they said it was built. But to me, that's just incredible. Not only that, but the gardening stuff in the Sacred Valley, they have all of these different levels and layers, and it's just so fascinating. I won't bore you with all of the details. I mean, it's not boring, but that's not why we're here tonight to get all excited about all the specifics. We're here to learn about the adventure itself. I just think that there's so many cool things to learn. So very exciting. And what makes this trip different than any other tour through Machu Picchu or Peru? Well, this isn't just a check the box kind of trip. It's actually a really intentional transformational experience because, well, frankly, the way I see it, how could you stand there and experience these marvels, stand there and even stare up into the night sky and not be personally transformed? I myself know that nature is a really transformative force in my life, and I just know that this is going to be absolutely amazing as far as that connection with yourself and with all of nature and the other amazing people on this group. Now you don't have to be a professional hiker or anything like that. You just have to be open to some adventure and be willing to train just a little bit to make sure that you can manage walking for a couple of longish days. Now no one's going to be running or racing or anything like that, and I love this because I actually used to be a runner, but I have really slowed down in the last number of years, and I actually really enjoy being able to take in what I'm seeing around me at that slower pace and really absorb the experience itself instead of kind of rushing by. So, this is also a co-ed, inclusive, and community-focused group. So, this is great for solo travelers or couples, friends, anything like that. You are welcome to come as a single as well. So the best part really about joining this private group, which is a little bit different than just any other tour that you might book, is not only you're going to have all of those key travel logistics taken care of, but you're going to get to have this experience with a group of like-minded or like-hearted travelers, which just makes it that much more fun. It's really about connection and community in that way, as well as, of course, like just the awe of seeing the things that we're going to be able to see. I'm just seeing in the chat here, will boots be required? I think that they said you do not require hiking boots. I think that the trail is not that technical, so hiking boots might not be required and running shoes are probably okay. It depends probably on your feet. So just happened to see that one there. And yes, we got some people that want to see some of the Seven Wonders. So fantastic. I'm glad you're in the right place. Let's dive into, I'm going to just share my screen so we can really quickly go through. Of course, my share the screen button is hidden right now. Okay. Nope, that's not the one. Okay. So I'm just going to share the brochure. Most of you have probably already seen this brochure. So this isn't going to be anything super new, but I kind of want to just pop through and highlight a couple of key things here. So I'm just going to zip down here to mention kind of what's included for you, just so that you have a clear picture of that. Of course, we have our 4-day Inca Trail trek. This is going to be incredible because we don't have to carry our stuff. We have to carry just what we need for the day. And we have porters that are going to carry our sleeping bags and our other gear. The tents, all the cooking things, all that is covered for us. So we don't need to worry about any of that. We just need to bring what we need to bring for ourselves during the day. And the rest is really taken care of. We have a couple of guided tours here involved, and that's sort of outlined in the full brochure. We have 8 nights of accommodation included in your trip. You can also add additional days at either end in Lima if that is of interest to stay longer or explore further in the area. Of course, 3 nights, sorry, are camping. So these are the nights that are along the trek, along the trail. These will be opportunities to see more stars, apparently, than are typically visible from most other places because it is so far away from civilization that we will just be able to see that many more stars. So I don't know about any of you, but that is really awesome, I think. And I'm really excited and looking forward to that too. I feel like that's really magical. Our trip also includes all in-country transportation. So this means we are meeting in Lima. The trip from Lima to Cusco, that's a flight, and then back to Lima are both included. Okay, so airfare that's not included is from wherever you're joining us to Lima. That's where we're going to connect. Everything in the middle of the tour is included. Okay, so we got flights, van rides. We're taking the train back at the end of the hike. So that's also apparently very scenic and beautiful. So something else to be really excited about. We have a couple of experiences and visits included in our package as well. And again, we have our full support team. We have our CEO, which is the Chief Experience Officer from G Adventures, that is going to be guiding us through this. And of course, they're on the ground, they're local, they're going to be able to tell us all of the really amazing little tidbits of information. The package cost is $2,749 Canadian. This is the full part here and includes a private booking fee that's already factored in there. Like I said, bringing us together with a tight-knit community of like-hearted folks. If you're ready to book, the $350 Canadian deposit is due on sign up to reserve your spot. This is because in advance they need to start working on getting permits and passes and all these kinds of things as well. All right, and then the rest of the payments are noted here. Everything is due, ends up being due about 3 months before our trip so that everything is locked in and ready to rock and roll. So as mentioned, what you'll have to count on external to that might be different for everyone depending on where you're joining us from, is the flights to and from Lima. And then there are some meals that are not included. So depending on how much you like to dine out, we have some opportunities for some amazing dining in Lima. And I'm just going to go on to talk about the itinerary for now. I'm going to circle back to some of that other stuff later. So our 9-day tour is going to start in Lima, which is Peru's lively capital. We're going to have some opportunities to explore the food scene, and then we're going to head to Sacred Valley, to Cusco to acclimate a couple of days before our big trek. Of course, with the elevation, we need to arrive a little bit ahead of time so that we can get our bodies ready to go at that higher elevation. So arriving in Lima, you can come a little bit earlier. We'll probably go a day early as well, just to make sure that we're there. We're going to land at least probably 1 day ahead of time. So the tour starts in Lima. We will connect as our group the night before. And then we do have a little bit of time here as we connect. That's where we meet our CEO. A little bit of time there, not that much before we head to Cusco. So on day two of our tour, so I was trying to say, we are going to be taking that plane from Lima to Cusco. It's a short flight. I believe it said it was an hour or an hour and a half. Then we get to really start our adventure because Cusco is breathtaking, right? It's got this like old architecture, it's got a lot of culture, and we're going to need that little bit of time to really acclimate. So it's a great opportunity to explore a little bit about what they have to offer there as well. There are some additional optional adventures you can add on if you like outside of the tour. So there are definitely some options for you there. We are going to be there for 2 full days, basically, before we start our trek, because we'll need that time to adjust. And then we are going to be doing 4 unforgettable days hiking the Inca Trail. The beautiful thing is, again, our guides and our porters are going to handle all the logistics. Basically, you show up, you get to hike, you get to soak in all of the amazing scenery, and just enjoy the journey. Uh, I will also say that this trek is rated a 4 out of 5, which they call demanding. This is G Adventures rating. There is plenty of altitude and there is some more strenuous days, but this is totally doable for most healthy travelers, okay? Like this isn't out of reach for anybody. It just means that you might want to do a little preparing for time on feet, okay? So making sure that you have that. We have lots of time to prepare. We're even planning on doing some local hikes here in Alberta for those of you that are local to us. If you'd like to join us for a few hikes here. Otherwise, we're going to be doing also probably some stair meetups for anybody who's really local to Edmonton with us. But if not, we're also going to let you know what we're up to here so that you can go find something that's going to help you get in that kind of condition as well that you need to be in. So not to worry there, we have you covered. And then, of course, we're going to see these amazing things. We're going to be eating like like kings and queens throughout our tour. I've heard the food is absolutely incredible. The people and their stories are also incredible. Oh, and I was going to mention here too while I'm passing by that if you don't want to bring trekking things like sleeping bags and so forth, that you can rent all of these things. I fully plan on renting them in Cusco so that you don't have to travel from wherever you are all the way to Peru with all of those things. Uh, there are rental shops right in Cusco to take care of that. All right. So let's see. I'm sure y'all have read all of the specifics here, but like, I'm so excited. You guys look so beautiful. Then you're going to want to basically make sure that you have just what you need in your backpack. Light day pack, bug spray apparently is a big one. Sun protection, rain gear, all of these kinds of things, extra layers. I was reading that the average temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius that time of year out on the Inca Trail. Lows are around 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. So it can be a little bit chilly. So we're definitely wanting to pack some layers there. And we're going to be hiking and camping and all of the stuff. I read also that they have some like private toilet tents that they set up for us because if we had to rely on what's out on the trail, it would not be nearly as comfortable. So it sounds like they have private tents for the loo along the way. All right. I'm just gonna move along here until we get a little closer to the end here. Well, I guess I should just say too that we're hiking about 12 kilometers on day 2. That's the longest day. That's the longest and hardest, sorry, I think that's the hardest day. And then day 3 is the longest day. So we're going a little bit longer, 16 kilometers. This is a bit of a trek for sure, but again, we'd be distracted by all of the beautiful scenery around us. So I'm sure that'll make any discomfort very manageable. And of course, it will all be worthwhile when we get to that final day and we reach Machu Picchu through the Sun Gate, which is going to be an early morning and then perfectly, hopefully perfectly timed as our guides will have us arrive there at sunrise so that we can really take in the majesty of it all. Um, Let me see here what else I want to say. Oh yeah, and llama selfies, obviously, right? So, after we arrive at Machu Picchu, there are some tours to go around and see the actual ruins up close, of course. Then we will be returning back to Cusco via the train, have a wrap-up dinner, and then return to Lima for one last hurrah together. So that is sort of the key about the tour itself. But I want to know who else is also planning llama selfies. Is it just me? If you're also planning some llama selfies, drop it in the chat because I want to know I'm not alone here. I think they're going to be pretty cool. So that's just me. So I also wanted to share, I have kind of covered some of the stuff about what's included, but I also just wanted to touch on the fact that this trip is sort of organized through G Adventures, which is a proudly Canadian-based company. All the pricing is in Canadian dollars, so honestly, it's a steal of a deal. I know some of you are from the US and other areas. The Canadian dollar is kind of in the crapper. So This bodes well for people outside of Canada, and it also bodes well for Canadians because we don't have to pay exchange rates on that ourselves. So, yay. And also, it's just a peace of mind knowing that basically G Adventures and my travel partner, who's the travel agent, taking care of the actual booking itself, can help you with your flights and any of those additional nights or extra tours that you want to do. Everything is basically covered for you for the trek. Your permits, your porters, the meals, the tents, the guides, the food, entry to Machu Picchu is all included in the package price. So you just basically train a little bit, pack, and then show up, right? So the only things there, yeah, I think I said all that stuff already. Just checking my notes to make sure that I cover everything. I did want to also mention the experience grade upgrade is an option that you can explore if you're wanting to make this trip an even more meaningful transformation. I'm offering a couple of optional experience upgrade benefits for people who are interested in that. It includes some additional supports and bonuses that are woven throughout our adventure. Things like breath work to help you acclimate to the altitude, a custom journal to document your journey, and pre and post trip one-to-one support. And of course, this is just an opportunity to deepen your transformational experience, and if that calls to you, right? If, of course, you're looking to do some even deeper transformational work in advance of the trip, I'd be honored to chat just one-to-one about any mentorship options or anything, tailored to your outcomes. But this is not a retreat per se, it is a group trip. But there's a few little extra bonuses there if that calls to you. I do want to talk about really briefly who this trip is for, just to be really clear. This trip is for anybody who's craving connection, growth, and adventure with some meaning behind it. You don't have to be in perfect shape or anything like that. You just have to be ready to take on something extraordinary, right? Come for the challenge, stay for the community, leave with memories that are going to last you a lifetime. And I do want to also just point out that the Inca Trail itself has really strict limits of how many hikers they allow on it at any point in time. So the passes or the permits that they issue for hikers sell out months in advance. So this is why we're already talking about this trip now for next year, because those permits can sell out really far in advance. And we want to make sure that everyone that wants to join us for this can get a permit so that they can do this hike. If you're ready to reserve your spot, I will get you in touch. You can just reach out to me, directly, and we'll get Laura your passport info and your credit card just to take that $350 deposit. That will lock in your spot. And the rest of the payment plan is laid out in the brochure. So the timelines are all in there. If you don't have the brochure, again, just hit me up. I will send it over your way. And once you're in, then we'll get you into the group chat where we'll have updates, tips for preparing, all of the things that you need to do so that you can just get excited as we count down to departure. Everything will be taken care of for you. And like I said, for the folks that live near us, we're going to be planning a few things here so that we can connect, so that we can get prepared, because I need to get prepared. Okay, so more full disclosure there. I need to also get more prepared. So let's do this together. This is like perfect motivation to really get my butt in gear. So I'm super excited. If your heart is saying yes to this, I encourage you to not wait. There are a lot of people really interested. I know that this trip is going to sell out. It's only a matter of when. We are half sold out already. And I would love for you to be part of our crew in this experience and to have this lifetime, once in a lifetime opportunity to do something epic with you. So if there's any other questions, I'm going to check the chat. Does anybody else have any other questions? Please do pop it in the chat.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, can we bring a suitcase or would they
Yes.
prefer to bring a backpack?
From what Laura told me, because again, I haven't been there, but she went once before. She had mentioned, I'm going to stop my screen share so that we can see each other a little bit better, hopefully, that we can absolutely bring a suitcase. They will be giving us some sort of smaller duffels for the hike component. We don't need to bring all of our luggage on the 4-day hike piece. We can just pack what we need to in our day pack and then also in their duffels that they will be porting for us. So you can bring a suitcase. They'll just take whatever you don't bring on the hike, I guess, to your next destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just want to check. I heard you say like that we need to bring our own sleeping bags, or like we can rent them there, but like they are not provided.
Right. That I believe, from what I've understood, that is the case, but we can rent them really cheaply in Cusco. So that's kind of what I was planning on doing, but I couldn't tell you the cost of that or anything off the top of my head or anything. I haven't looked into it that far. I guess if you have a suitcase, you obviously could bring it along.
Okay.
I don't have a really good one. Like mine's way too big. It would take up half the suitcase. So I will be just renting one there.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. No problem. Allison, maximum participants. We are told 16 is the group that we can take. Laura did say that there is like a tiny possibility that if we sell out 16, we can ask if they can accommodate extra people, but it's absolutely not guaranteed. So, in order to guarantee a spot, you don't want to sleep on it.
Get it booked.
Yeah, gotta get her booked. And also because of the permits as well, they do sell out many months in advance. So we want to make sure that everyone that wants to join us has an opportunity to join us. Uh, okay, a couple other questions here. So the list of things we need to bring, yes, there will be a list of things that we need to bring. G Adventures will be providing us a list of things that you need to pack, as well as I'm going to make sure that I like do all the extra research and find out what's not on that list that we might also want to bring. We are half confirmed of the 16, so we have 8 people in. 8 spots currently remain at this point. Anyone beyond that will be put on a wait list. And if we can accommodate extra, if they let us by some kind of good luck, then maybe we can do that. But yes, we have 8 in so far, 8 spots remain. And deposits, I think, let me just really quickly check on the deposits because I know I have information about this. I believe they are not refundable, but they are rollable. Just stay tuned. I'm going to just look really quick. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I had to cancel a trip for G Adventures, and so I have like the deposit. So you don't get the money back, but it's like lasts forever until you use it up for a different trip.
perfect. Thank you for sharing that. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to speak out of turn. uh, 60 days or more prior to departure, deposit will become a lifetime deposit to stay on file with G Adventures for any trip in the future. Cancellation less than 59 days or less. Oh, actually, no, there's 3 tiers here. 30 to 59 days is 50% loss of payment, and cancellation less than 30 days is 100% loss of final payment. So, yes, the deposit is rollable up until 60 days before the full deposit is rollable into a future vacation. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to that, but it's always good to know what your options are just in case, because life does have a way of being that way, right? Still have friends. Okay, yes. They do not need their passport in hand to book. They do need to know what name is going to be on their passport. So, assuming they know what full proper name they're going to have on their passport, they don't need to actually have the passport in hand prior to putting the deposit down. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions?
Do you know how many people sleep in the tents while we're hiking?
What I read was they are tents made for 3, but but 2 people are going to sleep, and then there's some space for your gear.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And for shared accommodations for anybody who is a single traveler, there is an upgrade available to be a single to pay extra. There is no single supplement, so you can travel at the 27.49. That's your rate. If you want a private room or a private accommodation, you can pay a little extra for that. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but if anybody wants it, do feel free to let me know. Otherwise, they'll pair you up with another single from the trip. And we do have a number of single ladies joining us, which is fantastic. Y'all are going to freaking love each other. It's going to be an amazing time. more questions? Yes, of course, friends can room together. 1,000%. If you're traveling with your friend, of course, you can room with your friend. You don't have to be single.
Be coupled up.
Yeah, don't have to be a couple to share a room. All right. Any last minute questions? Of course, if you're catching this on the replay and I have not answered a question that you have burning in your mind, please feel free to send me a message directly and I will make sure that you get any answers that you need. I'm super excited to do this trip, you guys. It's going to be so fun. And yes, Robin, I know Robin's already in, so this is super exciting. Uh, Celebrating this together. And yes, if you have questions, don't have the brochure, want any other information that I haven't yet provided, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, let's freaking do this, you guys. All right?
Good night.